Welcome to Candlewick Library. I'm Cheryl, and today I'm talking about the books I'm planning to read in June that are not part of the Red, White, and June readathon. I decided to make this a separate video just because I wanted the TBR for that to just be strictly the books for that. But there are other books that I do want to read in June and that I will be reading for sure in June for other challenges and things. First of all, there are a few books that I'm reading for most of the year or all of the year that I'm reading a part of every month. So one of those is Every Woman a Theologian by Felicia Masonheimer. I'm reading this with my mom. So we're usually doing about one chapter a month. So I'll have one chapter of this to read in June. And then I'm reading The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Bruchetta. And for this, that is exactly what I'm doing. There's enough chapters in it for one per month. So I will be reading chapter 6 in June. For my Jurassic reading challenge, my prompt for June is the Spinosaurus. And since the Spinosaurus is believed to be semi-aquatic, then the prompt was something to do with water. So I'm going to be using that along with trying to read a bunch of Michael Crichton's books this year to read Sphere. So what this book is about, in the middle of the South Pacific, 1,000 feet below the surface of the water, a huge vessel is discovered resting on the ocean floor. It is a spaceship of phenomenal dimensions, apparently undamaged by its fall from the sky. And most startling, it appears to be at least 300 years old, but even more fantastic and frightening is what waits inside. So of course that takes place in the ocean. And I have read this, but it's been so many years, I don't remember very much about it. I'm excited to read this again. Along with that challenge, the fact that I'm doing Michael Crichton books, the fact that I'm trying to read more books about dinosaurs, things that are adjacent to it this year. I also have a list that I've shared about books that I wanted to read this year that are in that area. I just finished reading a book by Ray Bradbury, and I loved it so much that I want to get to the book I have by him as soon as possible. So this is A Sound of Thunder and Other Stories by Ray Bradbury. This is short stories, but I know that at least one of them is about a hunter in a prehistoric jungle. So that is why it was on the list. I'm going to be trying to read at least that one in June and hopefully the whole book. For the Read the Classics challenge that I combine with my American literature course, the book for June is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And this has an Other Tales. It has other short stories in it. This is by F. Scott Fitzgerald. So I'm going to read at least Benjamin Button. I don't know if I'll read any of the other ones or not, but at least Benjamin Button will be read in June. And then the last thing is this summer, at some point, I am taking a course from Hillsdale College that is about totalitarian novels. And one of the books is That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis. And that is part of his space trilogy. And I've read the first one, Out of the Silent Planet, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I've kind of wanted to go back and try it again at some point. And The Hideous Strength is the third one. So I decided this would be a good time to revisit this trilogy. And I found this copy in a used bookstore that has all three, Out of the Silent Planet, Paralandra, and That Hideous Strength in it. So I'm going to try to read all three of these in June. There is the June Journey with the Inklings readathon that's happening in June that Luminous Libra does every year. I knew I wouldn't be able to probably fully participate in that this year since I'm a co-host in a different readathon. But I felt like that was really good timing because then I can kind of participate in her readathon, even though, with just those. That is something I am looking forward to doing. And then also, I've been listening to the Harry Potter books again on audio with the full cast audio. There is some inspiration from the Inklings in those books. Then I can also count one of those. So I don't know which one I will be on by that time in June, but I will have that to listen to in June as well. One other readathon I did want to mention, besides June Journeys with the Inklings and of course Red, White, and June readathon, there are a bunch of ladies on here that are doing a picnic in June. These are their graphics. They're really cute, and it just has each of the different people. Lucy Chronicles, the Kansan Reader, Kay's Library, Reed Brucey, and Lindsay Lou Lemus. And each of them they have different prompts for different things to do at a picnic. And they each have different prompts for their thing. And you can pick those, so you can have just a few things. So I'm not picking anything for this readathon in particular. But what I am going to do is everything I read, I'm going to go on there and see if it will fit something and then see what I end up with by the end. So there's definitely a lot of really fun readathons happening in June because there's other ones besides those as well. And I am really looking forward to June reading. I think it's going to be a great reading month. I would love to know what you're looking forward to the most in June, whether it's a readathon or a particular book.